This is not a casual dating tip. This is a cold psychological analysis of female mating strategy. Most men fatally misinterpret a woman's deep-level curiosity for simple, friendly conversation. They fail to understand that every interaction, once a baseline of attraction is established, becomes a series of evolutionary tests. These tests are not malicious. They are an unconscious, biological screening process to determine your viability as a high-investment, long-term partner and a suitable genetic contributor. The shift is signaled by the depth and specificity of her questions. When a woman genuinely desires you, when she is ready to open the door to emotional and physical intimacy, she deploys two distinct, high-leverage psychological probes. If you are asked both in a single focused exchange, understand that you have been upgraded from a casual acquaintance to a serious candidate. The first question bypasses your status, your profession, and your rehearsed social facade. It is designed to expose your emotional integrity and your capacity for self-reflection and growth. This is the wound healing test. The question is, what is the most significant disappointment or failure you've experienced, and what did you build out of the ruins? This is not a demand for a tragedy. It is an inquiry into your locus of control. A woman is not judging the size of the failure. She is evaluating your response to it. The psychological intent. She needs to know if you are an internally directed man or an externally blaming man. She is assessing whether, under pressure, you take responsibility for your outcomes or you default to victimhood. The fatal answer. Blaming an ex-partner, a boss, the economy, or bad luck for the disappointment. This signals a low sense of agency and high emotional risk. A man who blames the world for his past will blame her for the relationship's future problems. The answer that attracts. An answer that acknowledges the pain, articulates the specific uncomfortable lesson learned, and clearly states the system or behavior you changed as a result. You demonstrate resilience, the single most attractive trait for long-term psychological stability. You are showing her that your emotional foundation is secure, not fragile. She sees you as a safe harbor who has already navigated and overcome personal storms. If you pass the first test, proving you are emotionally secure, she moves to the second, which is about future pacing and shared destiny. This is the architecture test. The question is, if money and time were not factors, what single contribution, a project, a legacy, or a long-term goal would you devote the next 10 years of your life to, and why haven't you started more aggressively? The deliberate framing forces you to reveal your true purpose and the perceived obstacles holding you back. The psychological intent. This question is a high-level vetting process for ambition and focus. She's not interested in a passive man who is just waiting for things to happen. She needs a man with a compelling, independent mission. Crucially, she is evaluating the quality of your excuses. The fatal answer, a vague, generic goal like just being happy, or a purely hedonistic ambition. This signals a lack of structure, drive, and the powerful sense of purpose that women are evolutionarily drawn to. It tells her your life is empty and that you might try to make her your sole purpose, which is suffocating and unattractive. The answer that attracts, a detailed, passionate description of a goal that is bigger than yourself, a creative project, a business innovation, a skill mastery, a philanthropic endeavor. Then your explanation of the delay must be framed as a temporary, solvable resource constraint, not a fundamental character flaw. You show directional stability and a life that she can be proud to align with. She is subconsciously calculating, can my life fit beautifully into the architecture he is building? When both of these questions appear in tandem, it is a significant evolutionary signal. They represent a rapid-fire assessment of the two pillars of male attractiveness: emotional stability, the past, and goal-oriented drive, the future. The two questions create a psychological narrative. He can handle pain and learn from it. Secure attachment. He is going somewhere important. High resource potential status. The combined energy of these answers is what transforms her curiosity into intentional desire. She has now seen the inner vulnerable map of your life. By sharing this, you have created a moment of profound, exclusive intimacy that bypasses the superficiality of typical dating banter. She is not just flirting, she is committing cognitive resources to the idea of you as a partner. Her mind is calculating the return on investment of her time and emotion. She is testing your coherence. Does the man you present socially align with the deeper, more vulnerable man you reveal under pressure? A coherent man is predictable in the best way. reliably strong, reliably principled, and reliably moving forward. This predictability is the foundation of trust. You have successfully navigated her probes. Now you must act as the high-value man she has just assessed you to be. The moment of deep, vulnerable sharing must not be allowed to fade into polite small talk. You must seize the momentum and initiate the transition from psychological interview to romantic pairing. The actionable principle, reciprocity and leadership. Do not just thank her for the questions. That is passive. You must validate the depth of the interaction and then reciprocate by asking an equally potent, boundary-pushing question of your own. Your first move, validation and reframe. Those were very honest questions, and I appreciate the depth of your interest. Most people don't go there. It tells me you're looking for something substantial, and I respect that. You're definitely not just being nice. Your second move, the reciprocal test of alignment. You must test her purpose and conviction, just as she tested yours. All right, I've shown you my map. Now, I have a reciprocal question. What is the deepest, most non-negotiable standard you have for yourself, not for a partner, in the next 2 years? The one thing that, if you compromised on it, would make you genuinely feel you were living below your own potential? This question forces her to articulate her own personal standards, and you listen for conviction, not content. A powerful answer confirms alignment. A weak answer, a deflection, or a focus on purely external things tells you she might not be the match you thought. Part 5. The hidden subtext. The nonverbal assessment. 45 to 55 minutes. The two questions are the explicit communication, but a woman who is genuinely interested is conducting a powerful nonverbal assessment while you are answering. She is not just listening to your words, she is observing your physiological and behavioral consistency. The 5 nonverbal cues. She's reading. Eye contact and focus. Does your gaze remain steady and open when discussing vulnerability and ambition? Evasive or shifting eyes signal low congruence, that the words you are speaking might be rehearsed or untrue. Consistent, calm eye contact communicates integrity and courage. Vocal tone and cadence. When you talk about your past failure, probe 1, does your voice dip into whining or high-pitched anxiety? When you discuss your future purpose, probe 2, does your voice carry resonance, conviction, and a controlled enthusiasm? She is listening for masculine vocal tonality, deep, measured, and stable, which is a biological signal of low stress and high dominance over your own emotional state. Body language congruence, the open signal. Is your body language open and relaxed, or are your arms crossed, your shoulders hunched, or your feet pointed away from her? An open posture indicates you have nothing to hide and are fully comfortable with the raw, emotional truth you are presenting. This is a powerful signal of emotional security. The pause and processing time. When you are asked such deep questions, a moment of thoughtful pause is necessary. She is looking for the quality of your pause. Is it an anxious filler pause, e.g., rapid blinking, or a purposeful processing pause where you are genuinely gathering your thoughts? The latter shows intellectual depth and respect for the question. Reaction to her own vulnerability. After you answer, she may share a small, relevant anecdote of her own to match your depth. Does she retreat into herself after this vulnerability? If you immediately ask a deeper question about her vulnerability, you show her you are willing to lead the relationship into deeper emotional territory, which is highly attractive. The crucial insight. If your words about resilience and purpose are contradicted by nervous fidgeting, high-pitched vocal stress, or evasive eye movements, the nonverbal truth overrides the verbal answer. Her subconscious will register the incongruence and conclude that you are either unstable or lack genuine conviction in your own life's direction. The attraction will dissipate. You have reached the final stage of the psychological vetting process. You have demonstrated past resilience. You are not defined by your failures. You are built by your lessons. Security. Future direction. You are not drifting. You are moving toward a compelling, independent purpose. High-value status. Emotional congruence. Your body and voice align with your confident words. Integrity. This sequence of interactions fundamentally shifts the dynamic. You are no longer trying to win her attention. You are inviting her to join your already valuable and emotionally stable life. The entire 60-minute interaction is a meticulously controlled, escalating process designed to answer one central question for her unconscious mind. Is this man's inner life and future trajectory stable, exciting, and capable of integrating with and elevating my own? When the answer is yes to the combined signal of both questions and your congruent nonverbal cues, her desire is confirmed. It's now about the transition to reality. The ultimate confirmation, the close. The final action is not a suggestion, but a declaration rooted in the substance of the conversation you just had. You use the information she gained about you as the basis for the date proposal. Your final statement. We spent an hour discussing failure, purpose, and what we both value. That kind of real connection deserves a real setting, not just this casual spot. I'm choosing to invest my time in you, and I want to see if this alignment is as strong as it feels. I'm taking you to a place where we can actually talk about building those things we discussed. I will pick you up at 7 p.m. this Saturday. Does that sound like a plan? Or is Sunday at 5 p.m. better for your schedule? This statement is powerful because it acknowledges the shared intimacy, real connection. Invest my time in you. It asserts leadership. I'm taking you. I will pick you up. It reinforces the future focus, building those things we discussed. It closes decisively by offering a choice between two actions, eliminating the possibility of a vague no. The questions were her way of asking, do you want me? Your confident, decisive action is your response, yes, and I'm leading the way. The script is complete.